Welcome to Becoming a Sleep Consultant. I'm your host, Jane Havens, a certified sleep consultant and founder of both Snooze Fest by Jane Havens and Center for Pediatric Sleep Management. On this podcast, I'll be discussing the business side of sleep consulting. You'll have an insider's view on launching, growing, and even scaling a sleep consulting business. This is not a podcast about sleep training. This is a podcast about business building and entrepreneurship. If you've been waiting to feel ready before starting something new, this episode is going to challenge that thought. Today, I'm joined by Stella, a full-time corporate professional, mom of two, and certified sleep consultant through Center for Pediatric Sleep Management. Stella is just 5 months into her business, and she's already supported 20 families. Stella didn't wait for everything to be perfect. She took action, she figured things out as she went, and she put herself out there even when it felt uncomfortable. In this conversation, we talk about how she landed her first clients, how she's using social media in a way that actually works for her, and what it looks like to move through imposter syndrome instead of letting it hold her back. Stella shares honestly what it looks like to juggle her full-time job, her 2 young kids, and a growing brand new business. If you're on the fence, this episode is your reminder that you don't need to have it all figured out to get started. You just need to begin. Stella, welcome to the Becoming a Sleep Consultant podcast. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
Thanks for having me, Jane. I'm excited to be here too.
So before we get started, tell everybody a little bit about you. If you're comfortable sharing a little bit about yourself personally, professionally, and why you decided to get certified to be a sleep consultant.
Yeah, I'd love to. So I'm Stella Kontak. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, but will always be a Midwest girl at heart forever. I am married and I have 2 young girls. So I have a 4.5-year-old and a 16-month-old. So I can definitely relate to all the moms that I help with right now and just as exhausted as well. But yeah, I'm joking right now. I say that I have 2 full-time jobs right now. I do work in corporate America and I lead a small team in supply chain and procurement. And also, I recently launched my sleep consulting business about 5 months ago, launched in November, and it's just been really busy, but really fun. I've really enjoyed it. And just a little bit of the why I did it. Just like many of you, I loved sleep training my daughters. And the minute they both were sleeping through the night, it was just such a rewarding feeling that I started to help then my friends and families to get to that same point and just really enjoyed it for fun. And in the back of my mind, I was like, I want to maybe do this. Could this be something bigger? And maybe do this as a full-time job someday or even like a side gig. But of course, during that time, I was in the trenches and I did not have time to think about it really. But then really last year, a friend of mine who actually went through your certification as well, Alyssa, she was on the podcast too, and she's wonderful. She shared that she was going to join your course, and I just got really interested. And I was like, this is a sign. I need to do it. And I did it, and it's just been wonderful so far. No regrets.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've had a really strong start. You've been in business for 5 months. You've already supported, you told me, 20 families, which is
Hmm.
incredible, especially because you're really just doing this part-time.
Yeah.
Would you say that you were scared to get started or you just jumped right in?
I would say a little bit of both. I had no idea what I was doing when it comes to social media or building a website. Thankfully, your course was super helpful in both of those things, and I was able to kind of parallel path. And so while I was taking your course, I did some of that on the side, and I didn't spend too much time on it. And I think that's what helped me was just doing it really quick. It doesn't have to be perfect, and just do it, and just kind of don't let your fears slow you down. And so just one day I decided just to post on my, like make a business account and post on it and post it on my personal account. And I was so scared, but literally that day I got 2 clients through referrals. And so I think just little positive wins just kept me encouraged. And I still am scared sometimes. I have no idea what I'm doing on social media and I make mistakes, and definitely that imposter syndrome is still there. But yeah, I think that really helped me was just go, just do it.
So those first 2 families that you supported, were they friends of friends? Like people in your network saw your post and shared that information with their people, their friends, and that's how you landed those first 2
Exactly.
clients?
Yes, through friends.
Okay. And then what about the other 18? Are they coming from social media? Are they coming from referrals? How are you finding families to support?
Yeah, I would say that's one of the biggest things right now is I would love to get a stronger referral base through local, pediatrician offices or local doulas. But right now, a lot of it, I am still grinding. I am still hustling and finding them all through social media. I mean, yes, some will go through referrals, but most of it is surprisingly social media.
Yeah. And does that feel comfortable for you? Are you like, I don't know, when I first started my business, I also did the same. I spent a lot of time on social media. I don't love social media as
Yeah.
like I don't love content creation is what I will say. Like I don't want to create reels. I don't want to create carousels on Instagram, but I'll hang out on Instagram and I'll connect with people or
hmm
I'll hang out in Facebook groups. Do you feel the same? It's less about content creation, more about just talking to people and connecting?
For me, it's a bit of both. So when I first started, I was like all over the Facebook mom groups, and people were commenting like, "You comment in there a lot." Like I was just really trying to make connections and try to really bring value and be helpful day one. And but it was taking up a lot of my time. I was in those groups posting all the time, and while yes, I was finding some success, I was finding myself to be on my phone way too much. And that's one of the boundaries that I'm really trying to find balance in now, actually. And then I recently found out I'm actually having a ton of fun making reels. I didn't think I was going to. I thought it was super daunting at first, and then I kind of started dabbling in it, and I'm finding small success where I don't have a big follower count. I have 200 followers on my Instagram, but I'm getting like 3,000 views on my reels, which again, it's not going viral.
No, that's like really
But
significant. If you
yeah,
have 200 people following you and 3,000 people are seeing your content, that's incredible.
well, thanks. Yeah, and it's just very encouraging. And like I said, it's really fun. It's been a fun creative outlet for me. So I'm not a creative person, but I'm finding a lot of joy, and it doesn't take me that much time. These Facebook groups, I would say it was really time sucking, and these reels, it's a fun hobby of mine. So I've found a good balance where now people are watching my reels, they'll like the reel or they'll add me as a follower, and then I can instantly just message them and form that connection that way, and it just feels more natural.
Okay. That is really great. I love that. It never occurred to me to run my business that way, but good for you. And I'm glad that's working
Thanks.
for you. Let's talk about time management because you are working full time, you have two little kids at home, and you're running this sleep consulting business. And it's not nothing. Like you're supporting what, four or five families a month, and you're working on business development and it's client support. How are you juggling all of that?
Yeah, I would say it's a big emotional roller coaster ride. Like some days I feel like I'm failing at all categories, like failing as a mom, failing as an employee, owning my business. But some days I feel very full of, I actually accomplished a lot today and I'm having a blast with my family. So I would say the adrenaline with running your own business, no one ever told me how the highs and lows are drastic and the energy, it's been pretty amazing. So I would say I'm still trying to figure that out though, trying to find that balance and boundaries. I did buy a brick. It's something that monitors my phone, so definitely I physically cannot have access to my social media accounts or emails when I'm with my daughters in the morning and at night at bedtime. So that's really helped me create that boundary. I have a really long to-do list and I separate them out by the different categories. And I'm a very type A visual person. I handwrite all my to-dos still, and that just helps me feel more organized in my day-to-day life too.
Yeah. And is your day job, like your corporate America job, flexible in the way that, like, if you need to take a call with a sleep client in the middle of the day, you can? Or are you really taking all of those calls outside of traditional 9 to 5 business hours?
Yeah, that's a good question. Thankfully, my job is flexible, so I can take discovery calls and client calls during the day, and I'm very much can be supporting my families and clients through texting basically all day. And I do set boundaries of if I'm going to be in a 2 hour meeting, then hey, I might not be as responsive during that time. But yeah, I'm thankful that my job, I am fully remote, so I do get to work from home, and so I do feel I can give the time when I need to.
Yeah. You mentioned once you launched your business that you just were sort of like go, figure it out as you go along and not overthink it. Is that how you operate in general? When you're excited about something, you just go for it without too much overthinking?
Funny because, well, yes, I'm definitely a planner, type A, very organized, but I can be indecisive when it comes to big decisions. And I read a book though around starting your own business, and you do really need a different mind shift for that, which it's really getting out of my comfort zone. But just really don't let yourself slow your business down was basically the model. And it does not have to be perfect. And I am a perfectionist when it comes to a lot of things. So it did help me to just go. And like I said, the website's not perfect. I'll have to go and fix it probably in a few months. I don't love my logo, but it's good enough. And like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing with my social media account, but I'm just posting every day and seeing what happens. And surprisingly, it's been successful. I do think I do want a little bit more want to be strategic moving forward of here's what I want to accomplish each month. So I am slowing down a little bit now, just trying to think forward thinking. But right now, yes, I'm in just go, go, go mode.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think you've had really, really great sort of like early rapid success. And if I think about the people inside of our community who have that, they just they just get out there. Like they see
Mm,
an opportunity and they take it, they seize it. They're not overthinking. You said like I have a logo, I don't love it, but it's good for now. Exactly. And
hmm
there are things you want to change about your website. Okay, you'll do that. And I really think I'm like that in my business. I'm very impulsive. I
hmm
If I have an idea, I just go for it. And
Yep.
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If I tried it and it feels great, even if it didn't work, I'll do it again. And if it doesn't, then I move on and I try something else. And I think that really what I see in you is you're just taking action, you're getting out there, you're excited about your work, right? I think you really like it. Would you,
Oh, I
right?
love
It's like
it.
bringing you a lot of
Yeah.
joy.
It does bring me a ton of joy, and my husband always comments on it of while it's taking up a lot of time, it's not stressful, and I love doing it. It just brings me a ton of energy. I'm not tired. I'm not exhausted. When you talk to other moms or when I talk to my friends, like they hate their jobs and they're just so physically exhausted and mentally exhausted, and I don't feel that way at all.
Yeah. Do you have a client success story that you're willing to share? Did you work with a family that like really is a memorable one?
Yeah, I would say two. One of my first families were twins. And of course, I don't have twins. And I had total imposter syndrome of, am I going to be able to help twins? But it went really well. And they actually had then a infant. And so I ended up helping the infant a few months later. And we've just stayed connected. And it's just, I would say the ones that bring me a lot of joy, which again, this is both good and bad is when I can really form a connection with them and we're still texting. I love it when they ask me about what's your favorite baby gear or, what are your trips on travel? And and I love just talking about baby stuff in general. And so just being able to talk in a personal way too is really fun for me. And then the other one is I love helping. I know this sounds weird, but anxious first time moms because I've been there and they just really need just someone to help them. And bring them confidence that they're lacking. And the minute that they have a baby sleeping through the night or they can find confidence in their own, it's just such a rewarding feeling. And again, they're just so grateful and thankful and we stay connected. So that was another one too.
Yeah. I always love hearing from sleep consultants who love supporting those highly anxious parents because that is exactly why we have jobs, right? Like
Hmm
this whole field is all about supporting moms who are really anxious to make a change to the way that their children sleep, right? And the information is out there. They could Google it, they could ask a friend, they could ask ChatGPT, but none of that is good enough because at the end of the day, what they're really looking for is emotional support and accountability. And so when I hear sleep consultants say that they really love supporting those most anxious parents, it just makes me feel so happy because at the end of the day, they're the ones that give us this work. Where that's why we have a job.
I mean, that's so true. That's really the most. impactful thing that we can help them with is really that. And I always say, ChatGPT, I have a love-hate relationship with them
Same.
because it just tells you what you want to hear. And they don't really give the best sleep advice from what I've experienced in the last 5 months when moms tell me what they're Googling. And yeah, I agree that really we can truly understand and learn, but more importantly, just be there of supportive accountability and being their cheerleader.
Yeah. Recently, somebody told me that they asked ChatGPT for help with their child, and they had given me the whole rundown of what was going on. And
Hmm.
so, just out of curiosity, I put it into ChatGPT to see what chat would say compared to what I would say. And it was totally different, totally
Hmm.
different. And
Hmm.
so, that made me realize, wow, this is not necessarily helpful. And then I have those experiences outside of my work and sleep when I was just asking it to troubleshoot
Yep.
something with me, like a tech thing. And it had me running around in circles, not solving my tech problem at all. So, I think it's useful in there's certain ways that you could definitely make use of AI.
Recipes. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a great example, but it's not for everything. I use it like polish my email. I'll write a whole email and say, "Can you make
Hmm.
this? Can you polish this?"
Hmm.
Fine, but to have something to have it create something for you from scratch when you're looking for really really tailored advice, I think chat's not it.
I totally agree. I think it sometimes can be dangerous actually if we use it too much in our personal lives because I've done a ton of research. It's more of an affirming tool. They're gonna
Hmm.
tell you what they think you want to hear, which when you're using that for emotions, that can be really dangerous. But yeah, I think it's great for things like what you said around emails. I always do it for like quick recipes. I have these ingredients. What should I make tonight? I think that's perfect. But yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. Where do you see your business? You've only been in business 5 months. It's your business is literally an infant, right? Where do you see your business a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now?
That's such a good question, and I have no idea.
That's
But I think
fair.
that's
Totally
the
fair.
joy. Yeah, I think that's the joy of it of, I want to keep doing this. I have goals, right? I originally had 4 clients a month, but I increased it to I want 6 clients a month this year. And I do by month have things that I want to accomplish with, local brand partnerships and national brand partnerships and things like that. But definitely I want to keep doing what I'm doing for a little bit. I'm not going to quit my full-time job anytime soon, my corporate job anytime soon. But I totally could see this being something that I only do maybe in a few years. And yeah, but like I said, I'm just kind of, my eyes are open, wide open to the opportunities. And I'm at this point not really saying no. I'm just going and saying yes to everything that kind of comes on my plate.
I think really you have grown so much in such a short period of time, which shows you how far you can actually go when you really give it time, right? I mean, if you've been able, your original goal, I think this was like a 1 year goal, right? Was to have about four
Yes.
clients a month.
Yes.
That was your like first year goal. And you're 5 months in and you've already done that. You've been doing that consistently. So I think this is totally just the beginning for you. And I think when we think about goals, it's not all about like how many clients a month can I support? Obviously,
Right.
that's where our brain goes, right? But there's also how much fulfillment am I getting out of this? Is it
Mm-hmm.
fueling my soul? Is it making me
Mm-hmm.
happy? Am I feeling a creative outlet? Right? There's so many things that I think we want to get out of our businesses that don't necessarily make it into our goals that we put onto paper. But for you, I really feel like this is just the beginning. You're just scratching the surface and you've already accomplished your goal for this year. You're already doing it. So I'm excited to see where you land another 5, 6 months from here. Do you want to share your website, social media, anything so that anyone is listening can follow along?
Yeah, so my company name is Stellar Baby Sleep. And so my Instagram is Stellar Baby Sleep. I have a Facebook. And yeah, my website is stellarbabysleep.com.
Love that, all of it. Congrats on your early success. We will keep in touch
Thank
and
you.
I wish you all the best.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Becoming a Sleep Consultant podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, it would mean so much to me if you would rate, review, and subscribe. When you rate, review, and subscribe, this helps the podcast reach a greater audience. I am so grateful for your support. If you would like to learn more about how you can become a certified sleep consultant, head over to my Facebook group, Becoming a Sleep Consultant, or to my website, thecpsm.com. Thanks so much, and I hope you will tune in for the next episode.